Hello, welcome back. Today we're covering a few of the projects we're doing, the smaller ones. These are horseshoe creations, as you can see. Flowers, there's a frog, snowman, and another one of the bees. Overall, they're quite easy to make. The only nightmare with these things is cleaning. Like tend to use these wire brushes. Well, like 50p. They'll work out 50p a one. And if you're considering buying horseshoes, tend to bought in bulk and a few hundred online, and worked out 66p per one delivered. Like I said, these are like 50p each, and you tend to use about 2 to 3 per, say, that size project, normal size projects, to give it all a good clean. Obviously this one still needs a good clean. That one was clean, but it needs to go over because it's rusted. So it was one of the things that didn't need finishing before Christmas. So overall, like I said, they're easy to make. This one's just simply 3 small horseshoes, one horseshoe cut in half of the arms, one small horseshoe bent, and then the ends cut off and welded on for the hat. The things you want to consider with these is you can stick weld them, so you can use it obviously the cheaper than MIG welding with your gas. Although it all depends, because when you get horseshoes, it tends to wear quite thin. It's not really focused there, but it tends to wear quite thin on the edges. So sometimes when you're welding them, especially if you're using stick welding, you can easily burn through and ruin your piece. As with MIG, it's a lot less penetrative, depending obviously on your settings, but with stick obviously a lot of penetrations also when you flux and so on, but MIG's you've got a lot more scope with MIG to actually weld thinner materials. I'll cover the bee now. This one of the bees are made. This is just simple 4mm rod, rolled in this and chopped, and then again the wings have been chopped with a vice, bent with a vice even. Another thing that happened here is I was welding these on. These were supposed to be straight, but literally I've ended up leaving the machine at such a high setting that when I've tacked it, it's moved, so I end up cutting that off, re-putting it back on to make sure it's straight. But overall, they are like quite nice little earners. You tend to get like, what, the flowers about 40 quid, they're about 30. Snowmen were 25, in though they do take a bit longer to make with the extra bits on them. Yeah, my next video I'll be covering any questions asked, but I'm going to start doing it in order of next video. And the next video I'll be covering is sandblasting. I bought a little sandblasting cabinet because, like I said, these are expensive to clean and they take a hell of a long time to clean. After making one, to clean it take a good few hours before it's at a good enough standard, because even like you can see how clean this is here, but it still needs a lot more to it. And some people do tend to leave all these bits clogged up with all mud and crap and just paint them, but I prefer to leave them to a lot higher standard. I tend to like open up these again. Obviously still a bit of dirt in there, but there's still a lot of work goes into these. I say quite a few hours just into each one. There's a good 3-4 hours in cleaning after it. So I'm hoping to cut that down with a quick sandblast. And one of the things that we'll be testing as well is, can you run a sandblaster off a 50 litre air compressor. It's the 9CFM Cobra. I've had this quite a few years. I do have an industrial one, but that's been broke for a few years as well. It's not really doesn't get used that often. But we'll be testing how well this will work in sandblasting the horseshoes. If it does a good job, then I'll stay with it for now. If it doesn't, then I'll buy a new compressor and we'll end up doing a video on a whole new compressor, setting it all up like that. That's going to be the next video, and then we're going to do them in order and stick to them in order from now on. And the video after that is going to be back to the Artec plasma cutter. As I said before, I've just switched to CO2 at the minute, but it's going to be Artec plasma cutter and how long you can actually cut for on a 50 litre compressor as well. Obviously if I end up getting a new compressor, I'll make sure I do the video before I get rid of the old one. I'll probably keep the old one, to be fair. But like and subscribe for more videos, and I'll be back shortly.